For the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee, alongside former Packer Brian Bulaga. Here's Emmy Award winner Homer.
The best 60 minutes of your day, the Brian Bulaga Homer Hour. A little preview a couple minutes ago. Yes, every Packer fan, every human being should believe that Jair Alexander will not be with the Packers this season. They say I shouldn't do 100%. And, of course, there is always the chance, but people need to understand how there is a greater chance that Brian Bulaga will play for the Packers next year than Jair Alexander. How about that? Let's put that as the Discount Liquor Twitter poll question, Pebble. There's a greater, Homer says, because Bulaga doesn't want to have anything to do with this. Homer says there's a greater chance that Brian Bulaga will play for the Packers this season than Jair Alexander. And what's the chance that you're going to play for the Packers this season?
0.
Yeah, close to zero, if there can be zero.
Yeah.
No, everybody is not coming back. And yes, if he does, then I'd be wrong, but you need to be shocked. I would say other things similar to Jair coming back. The Washington Wizards will win the NBA title. What do they have, like 5 or 6 wins? They're horrific.
Yeah.
So that would be up there. That's got a greater chance than you playing for the Packers next year. Could you actually get in? Do you have a physical situation which would prevent you from ever doing it? Or could you, like a boxer, say, just 1 year, I'm gonna give it a shot. I really have it in me to, because you're only like 24 or whatever. How old are you?
Yeah, I'm only like 24. I'm 30. Yeah, I mean, it's
you're significantly younger than Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I'm younger than Aaron.
Yeah,
I'm younger than Aaron. I got some things that don't feel great. I'll put it that way. I got some issues, but. The chance of my agility and my footwork being like it was when I walked out of the game and having that return would be I don't know if it would ever get there. I don't think it would get back there. So that would be a tough thing, right? And then having 22 and 23-year-old DNs that weigh 270 pounds run straight at me, running 4.5s. Probably wouldn't be what I'd be interested in or trying to even assume that role again. So I think I'd be good just sitting here watching the guys do it.
All right, we got another one. There's a greater chance that Brian Bulaga will get a college degree this year than Jair Alexander will play for the Packers.
Yeah, that's another good one.
That's a good one. I think you're just done playing. If you really, really, really wanted to play, I use the line of my father, which I think is the most important piece of advice, especially for younger people, and that is, he said, I'd like to wear a 36-inch waist, but not that badly. Your life will be determined by the things that you want to do that badly.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good quote.
Yeah.
I like that.
When you're young, you do everything that badly. That's just kind of how you are, and then at some point, that's what you have to decide. You want to do it that badly. And I don't think you want to play in the NFL that badly, because I'm convinced that if you did, you could figure out a way to be serviceable.
If I would have continued to play.
Now, as of today, if you made the announcement today on March the 6th, I believe that by training camp, I don't know if it'd be this year or next year. I don't know how much. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. That you could figure out a way to be serviceable. You would never be as good as you once were. But, for example, you could be that guy if somebody got hurt that they could put you in and you would perform significantly better than what occurred last year for the Packers against Philadelphia. But you just don't want to do it.
I cannot confirm that I would perform better. I cannot. That's something that I can't say I would at my
because of your health.
Yeah, I can't say that I would. I have no idea. But do I think I could get my weight back up and do that and get back in that type of condition? Yeah, I could. I could do that. That's the easy part, right? Get strong again that.
I can't get the weight. I have no idea because I can't relate to the level you were at.
Yeah, get the weight, get the strength. I could do all that. It's then doing the football part against the guys that you're doing it against, and that's the kicker, and that's the tough part. And when you're out of it and you haven't experienced it and you haven't seen it or felt it, it makes things a lot more difficult. And I mean, it's the same way when you miss a season from injury, right? Like when I tore my ACL, coming back that first practice during training camp or even OTAs, really, and feeling the pace, like I was going against Clay. So like that was my introduction back after my ACL was going against Clay. And it was great for me because I got to go against him. But like it's relearning that pace of the game as you're, haven't done anything in a while and it takes you time to adjust. Well, this time it's not coming off a knee injury. It's being older and not playing football for how many years. So it would be a tough go. I'll put it that way.
I love these questions for Brian Blah. What is more likely next year, college degree or playing in the NFL?
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. I know what your answer is. Neither. So you don't have to pick one or the other.
I mean, it would be. I mean, more likely it would be a college degree than a play in the NFL.
Yeah. All right. I tried. I don't understand. You can help me. I don't understand how anybody can be against the Packers bringing Davante Adams back. First of all, it doesn't cost you anything other than money, and we all know money in the NFL is kind of a joke. I mean, the cap, but then they always figure out ways to get around the cap and do whatever they want. How can you be against the Packers bringing Davante Adams back?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm trying to figure out a way because now the news came out today, which I'm actually excited to ask Jason about it with DK Metcalf and how Green Bay could be an option there and all that. I'm trying to find like a negative of Davante being back, and I don't know what that is or why you wouldn't want him back. And I don't seem to find. I can't find one because I think what he brings would be so valuable to that offense and to Jordan Love and to the wide receiver room. And I think he just brings so much, experience and leadership and obviously good play. I mean, that's the most important thing. He still has it. He can still play really, really well and create matchup nightmares for defenses and get defenses to, shift defenses his way and create other mismatches around the field for LaFleur to scheme. So there's a lot of things that he could do offensively for the Packers that, people don't even much think about until he's actually out there. So I don't.
But even if he did less, even if you say he's old, or even if there's no real cost to it.
I mean, yeah, I mean, the money part is, I think people make a little bit too much of a big deal about, he cost 16 or 17 or 8 whatever million against our cap and this and that. But at the end of the day, the cap goes up again the next year and then the next year.
They always find a way to. When's the last time? And somebody, if they know this, they can. The Institute can tell me. But when's the last time when you said, if it hadn't been for the cap, they would have done this? And my answer is that's just the excuse when they don't really want to do it. Because whenever a team really wants to do it, somehow they find a way because they have all these contracts redone, right? To where it becomes the signing bonus or whatever we could get on. What's the guy's name from the Packers? Andrew Brandt. He could, but every time it's we'll figure it out, or this guy's redoing this. And again, somebody has a story where it's legit. I mean, and so you can send me the ones where the team said this, but I will probably try to prove that they say that because they really didn't want the player.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many mechanisms for teams now to move money around and push it into other years. And, during COVID, they brought in the voided years now that they still utilize it. They can add voided years on the contracts that they can spread money into, which is crazy. So, yeah, I mean, if they want someone, they'll get it. And if they have cap issues, and I say that in quotations, they find ways to figure it out. I mean, look at Dallas. In like 3 days, they created $59 million in cap space. In like 3 days, they figured it out. So, like, it's not an issue. It's just a matter of, do they want to do it and find a way to, figure out the ways to do it.
As we said, how badly they want to do it.
Yeah. So, like, I don't think there's a money issue with Green Bay. There should be no money. And Green Bay already comes into this free agency window in a very good cap position, right? They already are in a very good cap space. So this just has to be one of those things that the team wants it and the player wants to be in Green Bay. And that's what we're going to find out. I mean, and I'm excited to see it. I mean, because I was listening to, a lot of sports talk radio today, and
good for you.
And Green Bay kept getting brought up with DK Metcalf, right? And I mean, then I found out that he was, a free agent after this next year, and my question goes, and obviously he's going to want to get paid or get paid this year, and my question to that is Green Bay going to want to pay DK Metcalf? Like, is that going to be something that Green Bay wants to do and break the bank on a receiver? Now, I don't even know what year this is in the league for DK Metcalf. I feel like he's been in the league forever, but I don't even know how old the guy is. I know he's a
Brian,
freak
you
show.
kind of know the answer to that. That's not what Goody does.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's not something he would.
The people that say that and put the Packers in, I always think they're the ones that are most removed from the Packers.
Yeah, Metcalf is 27, and he's going into year 6 this year coming up.
Oh, lost 27 in year 6. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if that's something that Green Bay will do.
Sanford, not 49ers, excuse me, Kansas City Chiefs. Perfect team.
Yeah.
You're basically, you got him for 1 year.
Yeah, that's like what KC does. Green Bay will not. That's not something Green Bay normally does.
And maybe San Francisco now would fit. It's where somebody would be happy to have him for 1 year. And that's not how the Packers do it. But I will defer to you and Jason Wilde. Yeah, best segment on the Homer Hour all week. Don't tell the other people on the other shows. Jason Wilde and the Doctor of Football, Brian Bulaga. I do nothing and proud of it. Next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on 94.5 ESPN.
We've got a new accident to deal with. Westbound 94 at 25th Street. Looks like the left lane is blocked, so that's going to start to back things up into the Marquette. 894 southbound at Beloit Road got the right lane blocked with another crash there, and those delays stretch pretty much out of the Zoo interchange all the way down to that point. Northbound 43, heavy ride over the high-rise bridge all the way up towards Keefe. Southbound, backing up from just south of North Avenue all the way down through the Marquette over the high-rise bridge as well. Traffic is brought to you by the Neal Group. They know how to minimize your taxes to keep more money in your pocket. Visit nealgroup.net to learn more. That's nealgroup.net. And checking the TMJ4 Storm King forecast. Tonight, increasing clouds, a low of 28. Tomorrow, chance for light snow to the south of I-94. Mostly cloudy, otherwise a high of 37. Weather is brought to you by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Join their two-man scramble tournament and play TPC Sawgrass for a chance to win cash through the 31st. Sign up at wisconsinindoorgolfcenter.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
All day, every day. The Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you.
First off, there is not one team that's on the fringe that scares me.
800-990-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Let's talk about home turf. Your lawn is a reflection of your pride, hard work, and even competitive spirit. If you want a yard that makes the neighbors stop and stare, you need the right plan. That's where Weedman Lawn Care comes in. Weedman's lawn care program is kid and pet friendly, uses golf course quality fertilizer, and has an effective weed treatment to dominate any issue. Get a free quote of Weedman's winning formula for your yard at weedman.com and get 50% off your first treatment. That's weedman.com. Weedman for the win.
Want to know where the snow is? Snow River Mountain Resort in Michigan's UP is buried in it over 125 inches of pure natural powder this season alone. Skip the airport hassle and head to the UP's only resort with high-speed lifts. We're talking deep snow, zero crowds, and a season that stretches well into April. Why fly south when winter's best-kept secret is right here in your backyard? Make this spring break legendary at Snow River Mountain Resort. Snow River Mountain Resort, where the snow stays longer and the lines move faster. Visit snowriver.com to book now.
You can accomplish quite a lot in 6 years. You go from changing diapers to dropping your child off at school. You can get a bachelor's and a master's degree. And you can take up to 6 years to pay off your brand new Pella windows and doors at 0% interest. You get so much more than stunning windows and doors. It's the Pella experience. Talk about quality control. Pella manufactures, sells, installs, and services every product. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Ends 3/8/25.
That weird Wisconsin weather is here. Snow one day, sun the next. But you can always count on Tsunami Express to keep your car clean. With 6 locations across southeastern Milwaukee, Tsunami Express helps fight that salt, grime, and mud with powerful vacuums and state-of-the-art wash technology. Technology like their best-in-class T2 with graphene for a long-lasting shine and protection. Stop at any Tsunami Express location and get your first wash free when you sign up online at TsunamiExpress.com. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat. Terms and conditions apply. First wash free for new members only.
American Family Insurance is a lot like Captain America. He protects the world.
It's just doing my job.
And we help protect your dreams with amazing auto and home coverage. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com. And see Marvel Studios' Captain America Brave New World.
Suit up. We need to move.
In theaters February 14th. This film is not yet rated.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
This is the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN. It's time for Jason Wilde on the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
Best segment of the week. Might even be better than Wilde and Tausch. Just don't tell him. The Brian Bulaga Homer Hour, the doctor of football who actually watches all the Packer games twice. I still don't understand why, but he can explain it to you. And Jason Wilde, you go to WisconsinOnDemand.com, you hit Jason Wilde, and he's on like every show a million times. He's on this station more than David Gruber advertises. Yeah. All right. Take it away, Doc. Brian Bulaga.
Jason, good evening. How are you?
I am happy to be with two of my favorite human beings. Thanks for having me. And that David Gruber line was pretty good.
Yeah, that's always. All right, so...
hold on. We got to interrupt here because Pebble has the greatest discount like a Twitter poll question ever, and it's worthy of both you answering.
Yeah, we were talking about Jair Alexander and DK Metcalf in the previous segment, Jason, before you joined. And Ryan from the 414 texts into the ESPN Milwaukee Talking Text line, the Carbless Talking Text line. List is more. 800-990-3070-76 if you want to get your text into the show. Who has a better chance of playing for the Packers next season, Jair Alexander or DK Metcalf?
Votes, please.
Who came up with that?
That's Ryan in the 414.
Ryan, that's a great question. Bravo to you, sir. I'm going to say DK Metcalf. I mean, not by much, but I mean, I think that's. I will be so surprised if Jair is back. I don't know. Like, I've actually, because of the conversations that we've had on this program, I've kind of tried to, and Tausch tends to do this to me too. And then I second guess myself, and then I end up being right. And of course, I don't tell him that because then he gets annoyed with me. But like, he keeps saying, well, yeah, Goody said that absolutely he expected Aaron Jones to be on the roster, and then he wasn't. So couldn't it be the opposite with Jair? And I would say, sure. I guess I have to allow for that possibility, unlike Homer, who loves to go 100% or 0%. But I'm trying to think of the scenario under which Jair's on the roster, and I can't think of one. Like, I don't see it happening. Like, with everything that's happened, I expect them to, if anything, go get someone else to play corner that's going to be on the free agent market. And if they don't find a trade partner, they're just going to release him. Brian, am I being obtuse?
Yes. What is your vote, Doctor of Football Brian Bulaga?
No, I mean, I think Jason, I'm with you. I think that's probably what's going to happen. I guess my only question, and you know this better. I mean, are they taking this all the way down to the wire, trying to find a trade partner? I mean, at this point, there clearly isn't a taker, or I mean, is there a reason why a move hasn't happened yet if there isn't a trade partner? I guess. I think to your point, I think that they will definitely take it down to the wire because, like you saw it today with Christian Kirk, right? The Jaguars kind of put it out there that they were going to release him, and then they managed to trade him to the Texans. They got something for him, and
a 7th-round pick in 2026.
Right, but still, it's something.
All right.
And Goody has made it very clear that he wants more picks. Right? He only has one pick in each round right now. He's got the 7th rounder from Pittsburgh to replace the 7th rounder of his own that he gave up to go get Malik Willis. And he said very clearly he wants more picks. He's had a bunch of drafts out of his 8th draft, I think, where it's been double-digit number of picks. That's what he likes to have. And then if you miss on a couple of guys, you're okay. But like last year, he drafted 3 offensive linemen, right? Jordan Morgan, Jacob Monk, Travis Glover. And yet here, Brian and I and Tausch yesterday talking about how they need to replenish their depth and how they should have learned a lesson from the Eagles playoff game. So my point is that even if it's for a 6th or a 7th, if you can get something for Jair, you do it. And the thing about it, too, is his contract itself is very tradable. Now, whether or not he's going to demand a new deal and all that other stuff, I don't know. Based on his availability the last 2 years, I'm not sure that he's in a great position. I feel like he's kind of in a prove-it year, despite how good of a player he is when he's healthy. So I think it goes down. I would think they're going to try like heck to get a trade partner. And if it happens tomorrow, great. And if it happens over the weekend, great. I don't think they keep him into the new league year, though. And the new league year, the negotiating window starts on Monday, but the new league year starts on Wednesday. I don't think they want him on their roster. But in addition to that, if they're really hell-bent on getting a pick for him, they can hold on to him because there's no roster bonus that is included in the contract that is designed to force a decision to either keep him or make him a free agent before the league year starts. Brian, you know this, lots of times those contracts, those roster bonuses, if the guy played great, you're converting it to a signing bonus so you can spread it out. Yep. And if you're keeping him, you do that. But otherwise, it's there as an impetus to let the guy go because you're ready to move on from him. And that doesn't exist. So theoretically, they could hold on to him even past the start of the league year.
In your opinion, Jason, with the DK Metcalf stuff, I mean, Do you see it more likely? I mean, in your opinion, and the players are completely different in Tay and DK Metcalf. What do you think's a better fit for Green Bay in terms of player, in terms of fit? What do you think?
So my bias notwithstanding of liking Davante as a person and as a player as much as I do, the problem I have a myriad of problems with a DK Metcalf trade, none of them having to do with whether DK Metcalf is good or not. I mean, he's clearly a good player. Yeah. But you're going to give up draft compensation. You're going to trade a pick or multiple picks to get him. 1. 2, he wants a new deal. So you're going to have to pay him. And I don't think that's something that Goody is particularly interested in doing either, right? I mean, I don't think he wants to give up, suddenly have a guy on the books now for $27 or $28 million. So that's part 2. And number 3, and you and I have talked about this, the idea of if you make this trade and then you pay him the way you're going to pay him, the next part of it is you have anointed him as the guy. And he is your number 1 wide receiver. And everything you've said about your wide receiver room and how you believe that there are guys that can elevate to that point becomes moot. Because you can't pay the guy and trade for the guy and give up draft capital when you're saying you want more picks. And then, after 2 games or after 2 years go, well, he's not really that good. He's not our one, Tay Wicks is or whatever. So the difference is with Adams, he's at a point in his career where he can still walk in and be your one immediately upon arrival. Because I don't think, if you watch the Jets games, he was not the problem with the Jets. But correct. He's also at a point in his career where he can do everything that, and you were on that team. I know it was a year that you had the ACL tear, but in 17, it was clear that Davante had moved past Jordy and was the new number 1. And Jordy, being the unselfish type of guy that he is, wasn't like throwing a tantrum. He still was a very productive player until Rodgers got hurt, and then no one was productive. But there was a seamless transition. And if you make a trade for DK Metcalf and you suddenly Dontavion Wicks puts it all together and is ready to surpass your existing one, well, you're not going to do that if your existing one is DK Metcalf and you're paying him that way.
Yeah, I mean, I see it that way too. And Homer and I were talking about it, in the first segment. We haven't seen it from Goody that he is a trade and then pay type of guy. It just hasn't happened. No. There's no evidence of that being something that even happens in Green Bay, even in my time there. That just, it doesn't happen, right? Maybe I'm missing someone.
He literally did the opposite. He did the opposite with Davante. It was trade so you didn't have to pay. Yeah.
A completely different thing. All right, Homer, we wanted to ask Jason about Sugar Free's question from Monday about the ticket stuff, because we wanted to get Jason's professional opinion on what the rules were around removing season ticket holders' tickets if they sold them. What was the stipulation around it?
And he was saying, how do you know that they weren't giving them to family members somewhere else? How did they do enough research to understand that they could be looked at as being very mean if they hadn't addressed all the possible circumstances for people not to use their tickets?
Yeah, it's a great question by Sugar Free. First of all, I do hate this storyline because I personally believe it was included in the press release to distract from a news dump to begin with, right? You announced this on Friday at 3 p.m. for a reason, because you are bumping up the ticket price from $7 to $21 per ticket per game. And that is the largest increase by far during the 15 times in the last 16 years you've driven up the price. $7 a ticket to $21 a ticket is a huge jump. Most years it was $3 to $5. per ticket, okay? So you include this in the press release so people are talking about it. I mean, Pro Football Talk did a post on it. I saw it in a couple of other aggregator sites. That was what got everyone's attention. But here's the other part of it. They've been doing it for 4 years. This is the 4th year they've done it. So it's not like it was the first year of doing it. Next point, it affects, I talked to your guy Popkey, it affects less than 1% of the 40,000 ticket holder accounts that they have. So we're talking about less than 400 accounts, okay? So again, this got a lot of attention, but it's not the story. Like, if we're being honest, the story is that they jacked up the prices so much. Now, to Sugar Free's question, though, which I do believe is a good one. So it's so different now with the digital tickets, because if I don't know, I don't obviously have tickets. I always tell people my family had season tickets dating back to the 1940s when my grandparents got them. I think my brother still has them. I guess it's possible that he's been selling them every year, all of them, and he maybe had them revoked. I have no idea. But with the digital tickets, I've had a few tickets transferred to me for other events, and there's a digital trail, right? Like if Blue wants to come to Madison and we're going to go to see Coldplay, because I'm not going to see Morgan Wallen. I know you like country music. But we want to go see Coldplay at Camp Randall, and Tausch, being the generous guy that he is, buys 6 tickets, and him and Sarah and Paula and I and you and Abby are going. He can transfer 2 to you and Abby and 2 to me and Paula, and there would be the digital trail that it got to us. So I'm assuming that they have tracked all these accounts and gone through them with a fine-tooth comb to see, okay, this person, Joe Smith, whose name is on the ticket, used this ticket without transferring it to another party. I would think they can also study, okay, well, he transferred it to Brian Smith, and they can reach out to because apparently they call these folks and tell them, and you can argue your case. Well, Brian's my brother, and I gave him the tickets. I didn't charge him for them. Like, I would think that there would be some sort of appeal process, but this is definitely a problem. Like, talk to people who know more about tickets than I do, and there are definitely people that own them purely as an investment to repurpose them and make money off them and sell them on the secondary market. So this part of it, for all the criticism I've levied toward the Packers for jacking up the prices every year, and I got after Homer yesterday for his asinine statement that they should just be thankful that they're so lucky to have a football team in tiny Green Bay. I have no
asinine problem. Doesn't make it any less accurate, but nicely done.
Yeah, it's still inaccurate. But my point is that if you don't attend a game yourself, and it's multiple years, I don't know if it's 3 years, I don't know if it's 4 years, maybe it's 2 years. I would say 2 years is not enough. I would say at least 3. If you are a ticket holder and you have not attended a game in 3 years and you've sold every one of your tickets, all 100% of your tickets, I think you've brought this on yourself. Because how hard is it to just go to one game? That's all you need to do. One game, and it's like a hitting streak, right? Like, you go 0 for 4, the streak is snapped. You go to one game, and the clock restarts.
Yep. That makes sense to me. I mean, if that's the way it works, I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of it, but I guess Homer and I were also talking about it, the ticket price increase, and he asked me how I felt about it, and I always thought, because every year it happened, and we always got asked about it, in the locker room, and as players, we understand that where the revenue comes from, right? Obviously, the TV deals, and then revenue throughout the stadium, and we're in a tough position because those things are obviously good for players, right? That's something that we enjoy, but also at the same time, right? Like, we want our fans to enjoy their experience. We want our fans to love the team and all that. And it's a tough question to answer. So like when Homer asked me, like, they should just be happy, right? I'm like, I don't know, man. It's a tough thing for me to say, because it now that I'm not playing, right? Like now that I'm completely removed from it, and say I were to go have season tickets, say with the Buccaneers, because that's where I'm down here, and my tickets continue to went up and up and up every year, I'd be like, what the hell's going on here? Like, well, why is this continue to jump and jump? So like, I'm sympathetic towards it. Like I am, but I guess that is it's a big jump, is what I'll say. I will say that's a big jump.
And my issue, first of all, like your salaries as players are let's just be honest here. The TV deal pays those salaries. Like for the cap to be $279 million, that's because of TV. That's not because, we're really selling a lot of popcorn and we've increased the ticket prices. On top of that, what people don't know is you guys get your little allotment of tickets, but like if all your college and high school buddies wanted to come to see you play, you got to buy those tickets.
Oh yeah.
And I know you made good money, Brian. I wrote about your contract, but nobody wants to pay more than they have to pay for anything. And so when I look at that and you want to buy 20 more tickets, you're like, I mean, first of all, Abby's the one who would do all the work because there's no way you were handling it. But the fact of the matter is that it's a lot of money. And the other thing is, remember, I work in the building every day, right? So they are refurbishing the home locker room. They have knocked down the media auditorium, and they're expanding the equipment room all the way to the media auditorium, which maybe the only time you got to go in there. Oh, I think the only time you got to go in the media auditorium was when you retired as a Packer. But they have $536 million in their corporate reserve fund. Like that is double of what the salary cap is this year. So they could have the TV deals go away and they could still meet their budget for the salary cap for 2 full seasons. So if you can't cry poverty when you have $500 million in the bank and you've got the TV deals and you've got the revenue that's coming in now from the gambling deals. Like, I'm sorry, you don't need the extra $7 from the guy who now sells 2 of his games so he can defray the cost for his tickets. And then you complain about Matt LaFleur looking up into the stands and seeing a bunch of Viking purple and Honolulu blue.
All right, we are late, and this has nothing to do with the fact that you're making fun of my opinion. I want to see Dr. Football Brian Bulaga, if I can get Jason to agree with my 100% on just this one topic. I believe it should be. I believe it should be 100%. Everybody should want the Packers to get Devontae Adams. He doesn't cost anything. However old you think he is, whatever you think his ability, there's no reason to be against the Packers getting him. And don't bring up the salary cap. As the doctor and I discussed, they maneuver that to do whatever they want when they want to do it. Shouldn't, against your better wishes, so you go as high as you want, everybody should want him to come back. All right, Jason.
Well, maybe 99.9%.
All right, I'll take that from you.
Do Malik Heath and Bo Melton want him back if it's going to cost them one of their roster spots?
No.
No. Yeah, no.
There you go. There you go.
But if you're not on the team.
Yes, 100%. I agree. All right, get back on the clock.
All right, bye. He just wanted. He cares more about the clock than me. Think about that, Doctor of Football, when you do his show. Next.
The Homer Hour is back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Southbound on 894, still dealing with that accident at Beloit Road. The right lane blocked right now, so we're seeing delays all the way back into the zoo interchange. Also an accident westbound 94 at 25th Street. The left lane is blocked with that, backing things up out of the Marquette. Those delays continue past 27th Street all the way to about Hawley Road, back on the brakes west of Highway 100, all the way to Brookfield Road. Southbound 43, watch for delays south of North Avenue down through the Marquette. Northbound, is going to be slow, basically from Michigan Street through the Marquette all the way up to Keefe. Traffic is brought to you by Fisco Auto Body. Call Fisco Auto Body to help with all body repair needs. Fisco, Fisco, Fisco. And checking the TMJ for Storm Team forecast. Tonight, increasing clouds, a low of 28. Tomorrow, a chance for light snow to the south of I-94. Mostly cloudy, otherwise a high of 37. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
James Imaging Systems. Local support, local accountability, local business technology representatives. Listen to Matheson Manufacturing President Al Leidinger.
She still checks in to see how things are going and if we need anything. So I really do appreciate that from a customer service standpoint.
Michael Quizan, IT Systems Administrator at Great Midwest Bank, discovered the benefits of working with the local team at James.
Our cost from supplies perspective went down. I mean, we're talking about thousands in a year. So we saved a lot of money by bringing James Imaging on.
James Imaging Systems client Luther Gray, Director of Ticket Operations and Group Sales with the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra, on dealing with James.
They are making sure you get the full value and life of every product that you have with them.
Local support, local accountability, local people. Get it all with James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 262-781-7700 or visit jamesimaging.com.
Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center is hosting another Scramble tournament with $1,000 in cash prizes available. Hey ESPN Milwaukee, this is Gary Ellerson, and Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center invites you to play in a two-man scramble at TPC Sawgrass, all from their comfortable golf simulators. Grab a friend and sign up today at wisconsinindoorgolfcenter.com. The tournament costs $120 per pairing and is happening now through March 31st. Your winter chance to play TPC Sawgrass awaits. wisconsinindoorgolfcenter.com.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
Ever notice how wine enthusiasts often speak a completely different language? And while that language may technically be English, to most people it's anything but. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor, where we stock over 8,000 varieties of wine and speak many dialects of wine English to help everyone, from the wine novice to the master sommelier. So if you need an expert recommendation for wine, or maybe you know what you want and simply need help locating it, our experienced staff has got your back. No matter the budget, occasion, or your level of wine expertise, Discount Liquor will make you feel at home. Discount Liquor. Unmatched selection, everyday low prices, a helpful staff, and 2 convenient locations. In Milwaukee on 51st and Oklahoma, and in downtown Waukesha on Barstow and Maine.
Discount Liquor.
Woo! Hey, this is Ben Brust from Kyle Brust and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin. People can't stop screaming about the Screamin' Sicilian frozen pizza, and no wonder. There's plenty to scream about, like the buttery stone-fired crust, secret recipe tomato sauce, mounds of whole milk mozzarella, and tons of premium toppings. Find Screamin' Sicilian in your local grocer's freezer and find out for yourself why Sporked called Screamin' Sicilian's Holy Pepperoni frozen pizza the best of the best. Screamin' Sicilian, taste what all the screamin' is about.
You're listening to the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
It's time for time. Half hour. You know what's coming next. Half hour, almost followed by south of Franklin, 38 minutes if you want to be specific. American Place Casino. American Place Casino, located in Lake County, Illinois. Great table games. Great slot machines, great sports book, all kinds of fantastic food, North Shore steaks and seafood, and all the promotions at AmericanPlaceCasino.com. I say those things only once because American Place Casino, just a half hour south of Franklin. American Place Casino, 38 minutes south of Franklin, if you want to be difficult. The Brian Bulaga Homer Hour. The best segment is over with Jason Wilde. Sorry. We have discussed fans, and I don't know that I've asked you this. If I have, I forgot. Is there anything as a player, and you won't mention if it bothered you, but what you would say to fans, being a player, if you could bring them all together and say, I just want you to know this. And I don't know what that would be.
I don't know what exactly that would be, and I think there's fans these days get a lot of good information now from social media. They get a lot of good information from people that are very knowledgeable of the game. And now that with the All-22 tape, there's a lot of good clips, and people post clips of the game, and people break down film on posts on X and Instagram and things like that. So people get a lot of knowledge of the game, which I think is fantastic. All I want to tell people is double check who you're getting it from, right? Make sure you're understanding who you're listening to about, what they're breaking down on film. Because there's some great people out there that break stuff down, and guys that maybe not have even played, right? Some people that haven't even played the game professionally, and they're really smart, they're really good, and then guys that have played and they still do it. But just be careful about.
But if I could interject you, because I'm curious of this, if I was a player, I wouldn't care what fans think. They don't know. I care what my teammates think. I care what my coaches think. But clearly, it does bother some players, or they don't like it, or they wouldn't bring it up. I don't know. Does it bother some players more than others, or maybe the majority of them don't care? And what's close to the truth of reality, because players aren't going to talk about it publicly.
Yeah, I mean, I think it gets under some guys' skin more than others. Right. And I think where guys get most upset and listen, I got ragged on by people if I had a bad game more than anybody, which is fine. Like, okay, sorry. But like it's when you have that outlier bad game, right? Like you have an outlier bad game, and it's then the social media posts come like, he's been playing terrible all year. He's had a bad game. It's like, it hasn't been all year. I had a bad game. Like, what do you mean it's been all year? So like that's I think what bothers guys, because then there's a portrayed message that you've been playing like junk all year, and it's really just I had a bad quarter. I'm sorry. Like you know what I mean? Like I had a handful of bad snaps, and I know they were bad. I'll admit they were really bad, but that doesn't mean I've played bad for the last like 10 weeks of the season. It just means I had a few bad snaps. Like, and I think that's what rubs guys the wrong way. And you can't interact in a way where you can break down this tape with people on X and go through it with them. Like, it's impossible. So that's why, like, I just encourage people, because there is so much good information. Just be careful who you're getting the information from, right? And there's a lot of good sources out there. I'm not a big fan of the grading sites. I don't like the grading sites. I'm not going to name who they are. One of them's owned by an announcer of games.
And I'm assuming you don't think they're accurate. I mean,
I've always wondered. I don't understand where they come up with the grades. I don't know how they come up with the numerical.
Because I think you could grade players.
I want to know. Well, the grading of players, like I look at it as like, did he play good? Did he play okay? Right. Did he play bad? Like to come up with a numerical number and a percentage and a.
Well, I would say a scale to 1 to 10.
Yeah, like that's where I would come up with it. But like, you're coming up with like 72.5%, and you're like, where are you coming up with that? What do you mean? So that's where I question that, and I don't really understand it. And I know there's deeper things in that with these guys, and 8 are tied in with agents, and there's a lot of stuff going on there. And I don't know.
All right, you got it. I just wanted to start it up. We've got another time. We'll the fourth quarter. And it's always pretty short, especially when Jason's on. Next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on 94.5 ESPN. All day, every day. The Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you.
First off, there is not one team that's on the fringe that scares me.
800-990-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel neglected or unloved? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
ESPN Radio Sports Beat with Freddie Coleman.
50,000 points. Let me say that out loud again. 50,000 points scored in the NBA. That is the hallowed ground where LeBron James is at, and who knows when and where is this going to end. I've said it before, and he keeps proving me more right, and more right. He is the greatest athlete that has ever played in the NBA. We may have to start having that conversation about the greatest athlete that played in any sport, still at that level when it comes to LeBron James, who is still a top 8, top 10 player at worst at his age, playing like that for the Los Angeles Lakers. And he has everybody believing, with him and Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves and J.J. Redick doing a great job as a head coach, that maybe, just maybe, a 5th NBA championship could be there when many people thought that 4 was going to be the magic number involving LeBron James. There are a lot of magic numbers next to him, and he keeps piling on top of those numbers, each and every second. In 60 seconds, good for the Chicago Bears.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. So if you want the right candidates for all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Oh, Ben Johnson is not fooling around as the head coach of the Chicago Bears. Yet Ryan Poles, the general manager, is supposed to have helped, but we know that Kevin Warren, the president of that team, is pulling the strings and calling everything. What I mean is they're not treating this first year of Ben Johnson being the head coach, former offense coordinator of the Detroit Lions, with that quarterback and Caleb Williams having that kind of talent, and treating 2025 like it's a gap year. They went and got an offensive line for the Los Angeles Rams and Jonah Jackson. Then they traded for a 2-time All-Pro guard and Joe Thuney from the Kansas City Chiefs. Ben Johnson's like, look, I did not take this job to just wait. I'm not waiting. I believe what I am. I know what I'm going to be, and I know I can make that quarterback, but I can't make him if we don't have the right kind of guys in front of him. Good for the Chicago Bears. We have not seen anything like this in that organization in a long, long time. For the ESPN Radio Sports Beat, I'm Freddie Coleman of ESPN Radio's Freddie and Harry.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
It's ESPN Milwaukee's Kyle Walls for Universal Windows Direct. The tax time sale is going on now, and they'll make your wallet even happier by paying no interest until 2030. Schedule your free in-home estimate today.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Welcome back to the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
We will get the final thoughts of the Doctor of Football, Brian Bulaga, after I tell you about Saganiac Planning, because it took me a while, but I finally got it figured out how to talk about them best. Saganiac Planning, I used to say a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service. That's accurate, but there's more. They've been doing it well for over 50 years. If you think they're good, which they are, then imagine how good they must be after doing it well for 50 years. And small enough to handle your needs with special attention and large enough to have the clout to make it happen. Saganiac Planning has to be large enough so that when they deal with the companies take care of them. Why? Because Saganiac Planning is big. But you don't want to be too big, because you got to be able to be small enough to handle the needs of everybody you have with special attention. 783, remember the number, 783. Saganiac Planning, 262-783. Roger Maris, 61 61. The doctor of football, Brian Bulaga. Did you ever, in your entire time with Green Bay, did you ever get mad at a fan, or did you ever say anything to a fan that was other than very nice? Like if they said something, I go like, "You're a terrible fan too." No, I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
Did you respond ever? Did anybody get you?
No, I mean, listen, I heard a lot of not nice things from opposing fans in stadiums. But from
love
Green
that.
Bay, yeah, from Green Bay fans in person. I mean, they might have said a lot of stuff on social media or as I walked past them. And when I got to them, they might have said, "You suck," as I got past them. When I was in front of them, they never said anything mean to me. No, there was nothing. And to be honest with you, like, you know, if there was a game that I didn't play good and someone said you suck today, I probably would have been like, "Yeah, you know what? You're probably right. Yeah, you know what? I didn't play
My
that great."
theory has always been fans don't realize that it bothers the player more than it bothers the fan. But sometimes I'm not sure, because I don't think fans recognize that players want to win, but it's also their work. It's a business. You know, there's some aspect to making money, being paid. There's some aspect to it that's work, which doesn't change just because you're playing for a pro sports team. I don't even know how to explain it, but Tony says, "No, it's you know, the players." I go, "The players don't care about the team." He goes, "Yes, they do, but the team doesn't care about the players. Team cares about the team." So as a player, you've got to think of yourself, because the people you work for don't think of you like they do the company, you know, and I think maybe I get it.
I mean, yeah, you're an independent contractor, man. You go out and you do a job for the company, and that's just the way it is. Like, you're an independent guy you're on the team, but you go out and do your job, and they value the team more than your specific job.
Right.
Unless
and
you're
when
the
fans say you're selfish, Tony will go, "Yeah, I'm selfish. I got to take care of me first." And you know what? The team takes care of the team first. They're no better than we are.
Yeah. The team always takes care of the team.
Yes.
The team always takes care of the team. There's no doubt.
So I admit I can't. I don't know. You players care, but it's more complicated than all they want to do is win, right?
Yeah, I mean, listen, guys, when guys don't play well, it beats up guys more than what people realize, because there's more implications than just maybe having a bad game. There's more to it than just that. It's not just having a bad game on tape for fans or whatever. There's financial implications with that.
You got to take care of yourself before the team. As a fan, I just got to take care of the team.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, the fans care about the team and the performance, and that's that. And I get it. I get it.
I would like to thank Tony Smith. The Marquette basketball are coming up next. A huge night. Shaka Smart and the seniors. Special night. Next.
A few accidents to deal with. First of all, westbound 794 right in the Marquette interchange. An accident there off on the right shoulder. Then a little bit further on at 25th Street, the left lane is blocked, so watch out for that. It's going to be kind of a slow ride out of the Marquette past that point all the way pretty much to 68th Street. And then our big accident. This one is on southbound 894 at Beloit Road. The two right lanes are blocked with this, so that means we've got solid delays all the way back through the zoo past Blue Mound Road. You might want to avoid using 894 southbound at this point. Maybe Highway 100 might be an option for you, but at this point it is a big headache. And check the TMJ4 Storm King forecast tonight. Increasing clouds, a low of 28. Tomorrow, a chance for light snow to the south of I-94. Mostly cloudy, otherwise a high of 37. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazagon, 94.5 ESPN.
Great Midwest Bank has document imaging technology from James Imaging Systems, a 100% locally owned and managed business technology company. The bank's IT systems administrator, Michael Quizon, comments on the value of local.
We call on them at any point, they're there. We ask them any questions that we have, they're there.
James Imaging Systems, local business technology solutions, local support, local accountability. Luther Gray, Director of Ticket Operations and Group Sales for the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra.
If an issue does arise, they're very prompt.